There are dark spiritual entities that reign over regions, over people's communities, areas, because they have been given agreement. I can talk about that later because that's something that's just come up again for me in the morning. But you, Mando, are fighting for your bloodline. And this dream again is talking about you trying to protect and fight for your bloodline. Your bloodline includes your parents, your grandparents, parents, and it also includes your son and your children in your generation. So you're in the midst of a bit of a battle there. You're in the midst of a storm. That's what it's talking about. And the application side of the dream, which is not the dream interpretation, but the actions that are required from you because of having this dream, that's another conversation that we can have. If I hope this is resonating with you. Just give me a thumbs up if that's resonating. All right, I'm going to just refresh my DMs. People have DM'd. Okay. Hey, Mila. Mile. Is Queen of Hearts on here? Oops, why is that not refreshing? So Scott... Yeah, so Mando dreams of your son traveling places he doesn't understand yet. He doesn't understand. Yeah. So Mando, that's because if you're his dad, you're not just his physical protection, you're his spiritual protection as well. So it's very important. And it depends on the dream. I'd have to read the dream to speak to it specifically. However, you need to go through it, and this is what we've been talking about a lot on the lives around how to break generational curses, how to break generational blockages and get the breakthrough in those areas, because ultimately that affects your next of kin, your bloodline. Scott, I'm trying to find... Oh, here it is. Okay, it's finally updated. Okay. All right, since Scott is John on here, John or Johnny Boy and Wazza, if you are, you can let me know because I've got your dream here as well. All right, so Westy, I'm going to do your dream next after Scott, so stay on the live. Okay, so this dream involves clothing. You love your sarong collection. When you wear them in a dream, a group of women surround you and start pulling and ripping at my much-loved sarongs. They cruelly rip the sarong I'm wearing, laughing at me as they do it and making me really upset because I can only get away. They say they don't approve of me wearing or loving my sarongs. Does this dream I keep having of me loving sarongs, does it mean I should stop wearing them and should give them away? I'm also 57. I've had them since I was 16. Still love and wear sarongs to this day. But these dreams of women hurtfully ripping them off cause, like... Do they mean celebration? Do you only wear them for celebration? Do sarongs mean to you like tradition, family tradition? What do sarongs, Scott, mean to you specifically is my first question. You can let me know here in the comments. They mean comfort. Okay, so then the dream would be pretty clear. There's something about the distorted feminine that is, I don't know if you've had some situations maybe with mum or sisters or cousins or women, but there's what I talked about, the onion layer here that have occurred, and it's playing out in the dream like they're stealing your sarong because they have, in your past, women who have displayed distorted feminine traits have hurt you in different ways. And so it's coming up in the dream because these points here need to be healed and sorted out. And the reason why they're stealing the sarong is because sarong is something like that comforts you, love. The true feminine operates with nurture, care, the overflow of love, giver, all of that. That's true feminine. Distorted feminine is when women are operating more in their masculine state, where it looks like control, manipulation, where women are gossiping and talking down and I want to say bitching really, they have problems because their security is not in place. And I watched his mum. His mum was Croatian. His dad is Australian. And he was one of three. He was a triplet. And the mum and dad ran a lotto kiosk. So lotto, if you know, lotto in Australia is quite big. A lot of people like their lotto. Maybe in Britain as well. Could be some tie to the UK. Anyway, but his mum and dad, they love running the lotto kiosk. You know, that was their business. But the problem was, and I'm giving this as an example of distorted feminine, the mum being European, in European cultures, and I know this because along my dad's bloodline, they're Dutch, and same thing. The problem is that European culture is the family works for the family business, which is fine. It's good if you've got a healthy family, if you've got healthy relationships with your family. However, it's not good when you want to do something for yourself. And so so Scott, the dream isn't talking about giving the sarongs away. It's talking about healing. It's talking about your emotional being, your soul being healed. That's required. The dream is highlighting that. And I'm just giving the example of the guy that I used to date years ago because his mum, when his mum would ring him up, we'd be out doing stuff, going to cafes, restaurants, hanging out with other people. His mum would be calling him like 20 missed calls. You need to come and work on the kiosk because it's Saturday morning and it's packed out. It's so busy. And I would say to him, because he worked Monday to Friday full-time job, and then his mum is expecting him to come down on Saturday morning and work, and then Sunday as well and work. And I said to him, you don't actually have to accept that because you've helped them enough, like up until now. You can enjoy the weekend. And his mum, if he didn't come down and work, his mum would turn around and she would deliberately not speak to him. She would do like the silent treatment. And it was awkward because we were in our early 20s and his mum, obviously he lived at his parents' house in his early 20s. And so walking into the house, it'd be this frosty atmosphere because his mum would just sit there and just watch us. And she just wouldn't say anything to him. And I watched that play out with him, and his mum would emotionally blackmail him. And his sister did the exact same thing, to the point where his sister would sleep with all his friends and have these one-night stands with all of his mates, and it'd be an embarrassment to him and his family. So this guy that I dated, I could see in him, he would allow this emotional abuse and blackmail to build up. He did not know how to heal from it because he's living at his parents' house, so he's dealing with it every day. And then he would be in a relationship with me because I'm a strong character. I have a strong sense of self. And I don't let anyone push my boundaries. Like I'm like, these are my boundaries. I'm upfront with it. You know what I mean? But he would keep allowing somebody, his parents and his sister, to emotionally blackmail him and push his boundaries. So then what happened was he ended up being addicted to corn. Okay? And the reason why he became addicted to corn, you know what I'm talking about? Corn with a P, is because at its essence, corn is the degradation of women. Women in compromising positions on the screen, and he would like watching that because deep down within him, that's really what corn addictions stem from, a hatred of women. And so he got so deep into corn, like it ruined our relationship. It was terrible. But I couldn't help him because at that point in my life, you can't really help somebody with the soul traumas all the way down here when you're in a relationship with them. So anyway, what ended up happening with him, it was a whole nother story. But those traumas kept coming up in his dreams. And there was some action that he needed to do to have the soul healing so that he would no longer be in relationships with women, because the next woman that he was in a relationship with abused him emotionally as well. I'm not saying this is anyone on the live. I'm just saying that this is what happened. But the thing is, he was having these dreams in which women were continually nagging at him and doing all this kind of stuff because it was being highlighted all of the stuff that was deep down in the onion layer was being highlighted to him and he wasn't dealing with it. I hope this makes sense. So anyway, going back to dreams of this nature. So Scott, I'm not talking that that's not your situation. However, there's something there that requires healing because the women are grabbing the sarong. That's a comfort, that's a love. There's something that's being stolen from you, and it could be in terms of distorted feminine. All right.